Hello, our wonderful viewers. This is the day that the Lord has made, where we will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the program of My Story, and today we are very, very, very honored to have our guest who will introduce himself. This is Tumaini TV, where we bring hope to the nation, and I hope that his story is going to inspire you and inspire many. He's a young man, and I know young men out there, you're going to be inspired by his story. And without much ado, I want to welcome him to introduce himself na awasalimie watazamaji wetu. Karibu.
Asante. Greetings viewers. My name is Brian Awuonda. I am 33 years of age. By profession, I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and the founding partner of Brian and Brian A. Advocates. It's indeed a privilege to be on this show. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I need to share my story. By saying need, I don't mean I've been forced, but rather I have to talk about it because it will inspire one or two people. I was born on the 13th of January 1988 at War Memorial Hospital.
Here in Nakuru?
Here in Nakuru, yes, yes.
Born Nakuru.
Born in Nakuru. We lived in Milimani all along. I studied at Moi Primary School near the showground. And then thereafter I went to Sacho High School in Baringo.
That was in?
In 2001 and 2.
You started school in?
1994. 1994 I was in class 1. In the year 2001 when I finished class 8. And then I joined 202. I was in Sacho High School. I left in 205. And then in 207 I joined Moi University to do a course in government, political science and administration. I did it for a few weeks. I did not resonate with it, so I left. I tried to check into medicine. I tried to check into civil engineering. All that did not work. So in 2008 I quit school.
Nitakurudisha nyuma kidogo.
Yes.
How was your life growing up?
As a kid, wow, I played a lot, but I was disciplined. I was never expelled or suspended from any school. I was always either class prefect, subject prefect, or dining hall captain. I was always in a leadership position. I was cheeky but disciplined.
You were born number?
I'm the last born.
I'm
the last born in a family of 5.
Okay.
Yes, in a family of 5, though I have step brothers, so we are a family of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So
growing up.
Growing up was nice. I grew up in Nakuru. I wanted to be a ship pilot. Yeah. I wanted to be a pilot for the aeroplanes. I wanted to be many things, but I never knew exactly which is the one which God had cut out for me. So that's why I tried many courses in university and it never worked. So in 2008 I quit school because I felt misplaced. This move distanced me a little from my family. That
was in college or?
Yes, in Moi University.
Okay.
Yeah, Moi University, 2008. Because I tried government, political science and administration, it's not working. I tried medicine for a few days, it's not working. I tried civil engineering, nothing. So I quit, went home, joined my brother in the family business, and then idled a bit. Yeah, you know, they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So I idled a lot.
How long was that?
Huh?
How long was that?
Yeah, 2008 to 2010. Yes, 2 years of living in the world, 2 years of being a young man. So I tried many things. That's bad company as well, because now I was in the company of people who are not going to school. So we drank. Yeah, we drank. We went for parties. We did these things as a vijana for 2 good years. So
pesa ilikuwa inatoka wapi? Pesa ilikuwa inatoka wapi?
As a young man, you are dynamic.
Ama as the last born, you were pampered.
Mama tried also to support me, but I had other ways. I was working in my brother's shop, and he used to give me a small allowance. So that allowance is what I used to fund my life, if I may say, to enjoy. Yeah, so it was not good. My parents tried to intervene. Oh, sasa utarudi shule siku gani? Like, I wasn't even bothered about it. So in 2009, December 2009, a friend of mine was with child. She was almost delivering. So she asked me if I could take her to Guido Plaza, there at Aga Khan Hospital. In town, yes. So I offered, I drove her there, I took her, and then she went to be attended. So as I was waiting, I had a conviction to see what was going on in the next door. On going there, it was Kabarak University Town Campus. So on the floor, there was a brochure about law school. So I picked it. And then I looked at it, and it said Kabarak is starting the law degree. They want 10 people for the quorum to be full. So I asked the administrator, how many people are there? And then he told me there are 9, we're waiting for one more. So I applied even without consulting and everything. The school fees was huge, but I did not really care. So I applied. And then I was given an admission letter then and there. Yeah, so I ran home.
That was the reason of going to
going there, yeah. Going to the hospital. God works in his own ways. So went back home in the evening. I showed my mother, like, Mom, I've been admitted to school to go and study law.
Did you have the desire to go to school when you were going to that hospital, or
okay,
was it in your mind?
I always felt left behind because my peers had gone. So I always felt, no, I need to study because I highly passed my KCPE. So not that I was daft, that's like I was not in the right place at the time. So I always felt like I want to get back to school, but to do course I did not know. Until now I saw the brochure of doing. Then it hit me. I like to argue a lot. I like politics a lot. I like to read history. So maybe this is the course. So I went home and told my mom, nimepata shule. She was happy, but kuona school fees, hey! Because Moi, I was a regular student. The higher education loans board and everything, so I was paying 34,000 a year. And then now in Kabarak University, we want to pay 146,000 per semester. So it was a bit heavy for my dad and my mom, but they just decided parents want the best for their kids, so they gave me another shot. So my big brother, my mother, and my dad pulled resources together and put me through school. So the first time I joined Kabarak University, the first class that I went to, the first lecture that I attended, I was like, this was it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And ever since I joined class, from first year to fourth year, ungesikia kuna A10, moja ni yangu. Ungesikia kuna A5, moja ni yangu. Ungesikia kuna A2, moja ni yangu. Kama kuna A1, ni yangu. Yes, that's how it used to be. So I led my class from the first exam till the last. I graduated top of my class in Kabarak. I was awarded an award of excellence by the then Chancellor, Honorable Daniel Moi, may he rest in peace. From there, I joined the Kenya School of Law. Kenya School of Law, again, I excelled. I was the best in the oral exams. From the Kenya, that was in 2014 now. So Kabarak took 2010 to 2012 because I did a crash program. So that crash program recovered the years I had lost when I was home. So I recovered the years. I joined the Kenya School of Law. That is 2014. And then while at the Kenya School of Law, I got a job. Even before finishing school. 6 months to finish school, I got a job at Kaplan and Stratton Advocates. It was the then largest legal practice in East and Central Africa, an international law firm with numerous accolades. So after Kaplan and Stratton, I did my training there for the entire 2015. I was trained by the best, including the senior partner of the firm, Senior Counsel Fredo Jambo, who was my direct supervisor, together with other legal minds. I was really exposed to legal work. I met a I met judicial officers. I even met the Chief Justice, Willie Mutunga, through that legal practice. I did many things. I learned, I understood, but there was still an emptiness inside. I was, yes, it's law, but not this work. So a year after my contract for training lapsed, I left Kaplan and Stratton and came back to Nakuru. So I came back to Nakuru and joined the firm of Githiru and Company Advocates as an associate partner in charge of litigation. So I was handling court matters, general office administration, and all that. I worked there for 6 months. Again, something is telling me, no, that is now 2016. It is law, yes, but not this one. So after, in June 2016, in June 2017, no, in May 2017, I quit Githiru's farm.
And at that time, had you been admitted?
Yes, I was admitted in 2016, January. So I was an advocate, I was practicing. So I came and worked for Githiru for 6 months. I felt this is not it. And then after Githiru's farm, I quit. I joined a farm which is affiliated to the former Chief Justice David Maraga here in Nakuru. I joined it as well as an associate partner in charge of litigation. Worked, now that farm had a client who was a monopoly. So I used to travel a lot. Right now, I am in Busia. I have to come back to Nakuru, get another file for Narok tomorrow. So every day I was out. Yeah. For 7 months I traveled. I got into all those courts, even the courts in the bush. I went everywhere, and then that was it. 7 months later, I felt no. I'm not enjoying work. When I wake up in the morning, I feel I don't want to go to work. So came March 20th, 2018. I woke up in the morning and I decided, like, I'm not going to do this life anymore. So I went to work and I just saw my files in the desk, on the table. I finished what I could, and then I went to the office washroom. And as I was washing my face there, a voice from within told me, you're not coming back here tomorrow. And you are not doing this work anymore. So this is the last. So I asked the voice, are you sure? And the voice said, yes.
Just talking to yourself.
Talking to myself, yeah. I said, yes. I was like, all right. So I went to my boss's office and I told him I quit. Like, I'm not coming back. I don't want to do law anymore. This kind of law I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to go actively in court anymore. I feel I'm empty. I'm not supposed to be in a fancy office. I'm supposed to be down there, outside there with the people. So he asked me, what are you going to do? I told him, as of now, I'm going to teach children their rights and duties. I'm going to teach them where there's a right, there's a duty. For instance, if they have the right to food, they have duties, help in cooking, go to the shamba, wash dishes. If you have the right to a clean and safe environment, you have duties, plant trees, don't litter, and start stuff. So I took the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, summarized it, made a curriculum for children, put rights, put duties, and taught children. And then I also told him I am going to rehabilitate street families. Au machokora hapo town. I want to remove them from there and plant trees with them and give them their inherent rights. And lastly, I'm going to conserve the Menengai forest. So my boss could not understand. He just said, who's funding you? It was again, God is my financier. So good luck, that's all he said to me. They paid me for that month and I was out. So for 5 months, so March 26th, I approached Reverend Elizabeth Marita, who is the director of Eagle Mount Academy, and I asked her if she could allow me to roll out my curriculum for teaching children their rights and duties in her school, which she agreed together with the parents, and they gave me the opportunity. The school gave me 5 children, whom we formed House of Plenty International with, and I taught these children that curriculum to be children of other teachers, to be children of other children. So I called them children teachers. So I traveled with these children to schools, hospitals, mosques, public institutions, public places, wherever you will just find children. And they taught children their rights and duties. They planted trees, and we conserved the Menengai forest. I talked to street boys from Nakuru. We went to the Menengai forest. Kenya Forest Services gave us a portion of land where we built an arboretum with these street families. We also built natural tree houses. We built wedding grounds. We built a beautiful place where people can visit, spend some money, and this money goes towards the livelihoods of these street families. Unfortunately, after we had built that arboretum to its perfection and everything, they chased us away so that they can remain with it and benefit from it. So that is Kenya. If you could say, that is Kenya. Yeah. So
before usonge mbele kidogo, how was life after you quit your practice?
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. I think I was avoiding that. Yeah.
You want that? How was life when you quit? Was it just smooth, whatever?
The hardest phase of my life yet was when I quit my job. Because one, I was used to a high-flying life. Yeah, I drove a classic Mercedes-Benz. I lived in a leafy apartment in Milimani. I had money. I was earning close to 100 to 200,000 every month. I had it all, and then I was only 27 years old at that time. So I got proud, and I think that's why God had to remove me from my job, so that He could work on my pride for me to be a leader. So when I left my job, I always thought like my ideas were brilliant. So nikiwacha tu job hivi 2 weeks, hizo ideas imeshacheza, niko na pesa naendelea. Yes, they were brilliant ideas, but brilliant ideas need a lot of patience. So I had a little money which I had saved, lasted me for 5 months. Though now I could not change my lifestyle. I still lived in the same house. I still drove the Mercedes and all that. So on the outside, people knew like there's an NGO which is funding me and everything is on top. But deep down I knew mi niko na 30 bob tu. Hii gari tu mafuta yake hata sijui next nitaweka aje. Yeah, but I always walked by faith. That's when now I knew God is with me, because He always took me from now to now to now to now. It was never ati kesho. Ilikuwa saizi ni saa ngapi? How am I surviving now? I never had a future.
And how was your life, your Christian life? Were you a Christian? Or you were
before... In Nairobi, before I came back to Nakuru in 2016, in Nairobi I was not a Christian.
When you were in
Nairobi, although...
In law school? Yeah,
in law school in Kaplan. In fact, even in law school, and I got a near fatal accident because of drinking. Me and my friend, we almost died. And actually, that is when now my life began to change. That was in September 13th, 2014. We got a near fatal accident. The car was written off. That's when I asked myself, if I died today, did I live, did I love, did I matter? And then all those questions were X. And when I was healing from that accident, I found I was not happy with myself. I always thought that before you die, there should be this transcendence where you feel nice, you are going, but I was not happy. And then I realized it's because of the way I was living my life. So that's when I decided to come to Nakuru. Coming to Nakuru was a big move to start changing. So I humbled, came back to Nakuru, got into my parents' home. And then now when I had worked nicely and got some money, so now I moved out. So I moved. So after I came back home, I also joined church. I came back to church. I renewed my relationship with God, and I began to follow God now fully.
After Nakuru?
After Nakuru, yes. Okay. So I reformed in Nakuru.
So when you were at that job, that is when you renewed your life?
Yes, yes, and more so after the accident.
Okay.
Yes, after
Still in Nairobi?
Still in Nairobi. Yeah, and then now, as I was saying, life after 5 months of eating my savings,
you're still in the posh lifestyle.
I still in the posh lifestyle. So I got late 5 months rent. Yeah, the landlord actually was very patient with me for 5 months. Everyone else's houses were being closed, but mine was just being left. So
favor.
Yeah, favor, but it was not for long because one time I went and I found a big padlock. Then it hit me, what? This is what people go through. So it hit me like I don't even have a change of clothes. all my certificates, everything that I can use to hustle are inside the house. The landlord has refused to open. So my things were closed inside the house for 6 months.
Again.
Yes, and imagine my clothes were on the line at the balcony for 6 months. So my neighbors are wondering, Brian doesn't come to the house anymore? Why are his clothes outside there?
6 months.
6 months, I tell you. So those 6 months, we had built tree houses in the forest. At the arboretum we were given, I lived in those tree houses for a very long time. Even when I used to come, even when we used to meet, even when you called me for your daughter's graduation, I was coming from the forest. And after that, I went back to the forest. I lived a very quiet life. Like no one knew what was really, I couldn't go back home.
What were you eating?
1 meal a day. Ugali na mboga. The street families, they bring unga, they bring mboga and nyanyas and vegetables from town because they work at the markets. And for me, a friend of mine from Mogotio used to send me 90 kg of unga. Another one from Honest Drinking Water used to give me 20 liters of oil. So that was my contribution. And then the street families, the 6.
So you lived with the street?
I lived with the street families. Yes. And that's, so people were like, hasa huyu amerogwa, siku hizi amekuwa chokora, ona vile anaishi na machokora, sijui amefanya nini. So gari kachapa. Yeah, now I could not maintain the Mercedes, so I parked it at home. All along when you used to see me, I know this is not surprising you because we were with you back then. So I used to go through that, but it taught me to be grateful.
Changing of clothes and whatever?
No changing of clothes. I had, my clothes have been closed in the house. So I have what I have, and then a friend of mine had given me a jeans and something. So I used to stay in the forest, so I don't need to wear different clothes. So I wake up in the morning, I go to the forest quarters where the forest rangers are, I get 20 liters of water, I come and shower. The street families come in the morning, we build the arboretum, we do stuff, we teach them what we are teaching them and all that. And then after that, they go. I remain in the forest with maybe 2 of them. Yes, so I lived in that forest. I had a girlfriend who I loved so much when I was working.
So what were you doing with the street families? Were you teaching them?
Yeah. We taught them. I partnered with, now the beauty of this, even if I was financially cash strapped, when I spoke to people to help, they used to help. So I went and spoke to doctors at Nakuru Memorial Hospital. And I told them I'm working with street families in the Menengai forest. They need medication, they need ABCD. So if you can be coming regularly for clinics. So they used to come to the forest and treat them, give them medication, check on them. And then I had also partnered with the Kenya National Library Services here in Nakuru, where they had given us 2 teachers who are teaching these street families English, mathematics and all that at the Kenya National Library Services. Yeah, so we used to get people who are visiting us a lot. We used to get missionaries visiting. They bring us clothes, they bring us everything because in the forest. Because we had built an arboretum. It was a beautiful place. You could do weddings, you could do camping, you could do bird watching, you could do nature trails, and we built that from nothing. It was just a thick place. We were told, use this place. So we slashed with the street families, we planted grass, we planted trees. We did a lot for 2 years. So these quarters, that was in 2019, I made the paper 4 times because of that. I made twice in the Daily Nation and twice in the Standard because of my work with children and the street families. And as I was saying, I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend when I was in a high-flying life. And then now when my life dwindled, I used to spoil her. I used to buy her clothes. I used to take her for dinner. I used to do whatever. But now when I chose this other life, she kind of understood. But just like me, she thought, this guy has a plan. Money will just come back quickly. But when money prolonged, that's when now the distance came. Yeah, and I lost her, unfortunately. Yeah, it was depressing, but I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy that I lost her. Yeah, because I know now, like, God has planned someone better for me who will understand what I'm all about. Yes. Yeah, so house closed. Then an opportunity comes to go to the States. my brother, my third born brother, was getting married in the States, so my entire family was going. So I was asked if I'm going as well. It was
You
just
still had contacts with your parents even when you were...
my mother.
Oh, your mother.
Just my mother. Yeah, in the entire family, just my mother. Yes. The others thought that's a gone case. Tumemsaidia venye sisi tunaweza, kama ameamua ni mambo ya machokora na mamiti, hiyo shauri yake. So most of my family members were Linawa. But my mother was game. My mother always came to the forest. When I had events like street feeding events where I fed 200 street families, it is my mother who cooked the whole night, cooked 400 chapatis, one person. And then when I also did another event at the forest where we were hosting 400 children, my mother came again to the forest and cooked for street families and for the children I was with. So she has always supported this, and I think that's where she got her blessing.
Persuade you to come home?
Because she knew I wouldn't come. Yeah. So after now my brother's getting married in the States. So my family is there. Are you going? No, I'm not going. Why am I not going? My project with the street families has just started. We had just started building the arboretum. So I felt like if I go now, all this that I'm doing will fall. So this is where I had to make a sacrifice. So I called my brother. I told him I'll not be coming. I don't know if he understood up to today. But either way, I did not go. I remained back. And that's when now my mother told me, sasa, hakuna mtu home. Nimewacha key mahali fulani, rudi. And then they were to come back after a month. So I was like, after a month, lazima nikuwe nimejipanga, nikuwe nishatoka hapa. And then when they went there, when they wanted to come, there was a problem again with their flights. So they had to stay for another month. So I was, so I stayed.
And that time you're still going to the forest?
I never stopped going to the forest. Yes, now I was operating from home. Now at least I had a good bed, I could have a shower, I could... But then my big brother had also given me clothes. Alinionea tu huruma, chukua manguo. So he had given me clothes. So life was like that, life went. So they went to the States, and then when they came back, I got the confidence to stay home. Yeah, so I stayed there a little bit with them.